When Women Speak and New Jersey Poetry Events presents
When People Speak, Poetry and Conversation with pop-up poetry guests. Our pop-up poetry lineup will be
The next person that's going to come up to the mic is Brother Suliman, a local artist, phenomenal human being, and he's going to bless the mic at this time. Suliman, are you still in the waiting area? Yeah, there you go.
Hey, peace to everybody that's in the room. First and foremost, want all positive energy to enter this room and stay in this room, and know that whatever stress that you're feeling, let it not be in here. Whatever fear that's in this building, let it be clear that we got to be here for each other, because we got to smother the hate and create something that's going to make us inflate, because we want to become bigger. We don't want to wait for the grave digger and for those cops to pull the triggers and for them to call you a, better not say that, because we got all these people behind us and they all got our back. It ain't about just poetry, it's about how we going to act or how you want us to react. It's just like that. And we ain't just become Black. We've been here for years, started this thing, and we got many peers. And we don't want to be like pears hanging off of trees like strange fruit, because that's not how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be here bringing the truth. We need to be here in a straight line, or maybe crooked if you want it to be, as long as we hold it together. Because we got to weather the storm, whether it's cold or warm. We got to still make it hot. We need to do it because it's what needs to be done. How tired are you? And how far would you run when they shoot that gun? Would you zigzag and try to just duck not to get hit? Or you stand there and let your ancestors just clear it? Because the fear will make you stand in one place. But we got to take over this world and be united by one race. But it doesn't mean in the way that you feel, because the human race is real. And the stuff that we possess is more than skill. And you ain't got to be afraid of that still, but still, in the heat of the night, they want you to be afraid. They want you to be a slave. They want you to wait with your family at your own grave. Here, dig that, put that dirt there. Here, you hold his body so he can lay there. You hold his breath. No, hold his mouth tighter. You ain't a fighter. You ain't a fighter. Here, give me that lighter for that torch. I need to burn this cross. You know you lost. You know you lost. What you gonna do? You ain't his boss. Are you a leader? Are you a follower? Here, take this gun and let you swallow the bullets that come out of it. And let your blood run. And watch the roses grow out of the ground where it came from. See, it's strange though. The way they entangle people's necks on a noose and see how you can get loose. See how you dangle from the end of a tree. But I'm gonna break free. I'm gonna break free. I'm gonna break free. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me?
Wow. Hey, hold up. Like, what are you trying to do? Become a triple threat or something? You don't have the artist, the being the artist of the year covered enough that you got to come into the poetry realm. What's up, brother? Triple
Listen,
threat.
I'll say this. I don't write. I just let ancestors go through me. So I don't know what I was going to put down, what I was going to say. I just went with the emotion of what was going around, and your energy fueled me. I never said those words. I hope to hear it after you play this back if you recorded it, because I don't know. But it's all about the moment.
So that's what inspired you. The moment inspired you. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody in the viewing area and all the poets, I just want you to know that Suliman was down there working hard this weekend. painting the murals in the city of Newark on Halsey Street and on Court Street. He actually had his hands into yellow paint, his ankles knee deep actually in yellow paint, painting those huge black yellow letters, Black Lives Matter and white supremacy. So he is to be commended for his efforts and for the murals that he has himself painted with his own hand around the city. So I'm gonna snap it up for him, and now he's into the poetry. Yeah, he's all the way live.
I appreciate that. You know, that event was a very powerful one. Malcolm Rowland, Fahimi, Shakur, Rutgers, also North Arts. It was a whole lot of people. We did abolish white supremacy.
That's right.
And you actually had a hand in rolling in some paint on there as well. So you part of that. It was something that I didn't even know what they were gonna put down when I got there, but at the end of it, it was like, okay, it was all worth it. And just to be here in this, just for you to invite an artist, not poet, into your room, you know, with some juggernauts that we got in here, like the Pulsar writer right there, the Cry Out people, my boy over there that hit, look, with the clothing line, he definitely did his thing. And I felt you, Andrew, as well. I felt you.
You got Rebel Ink in the house as well.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if anybody knows, I'm an artist, but I've been sketching everybody who's been going up there.
Wow.
So far, just quick sketches for everybody that was saying that. I even put myself on there, you know, so I'll let you see this in the future. But it was just me sketching the people that was going by so far, because that's what I am. I'm an artist. That's what I am to the bone. But poetry is like a release as well. And I thank you for letting me release.
You're welcome. And thank you for showing up and making our pop-up a success. This was a pop-up. James and I talked about this just this morning. We got 16 people to come on and share their vibes and their hearts and their souls. So we got an artist painting our portraits, which I'm going to steal that painting, by the way. Anyway.
Oh, look, shout out to 360 Poetry,
yeah,
too.
360 Poetry. They're not in the house tonight, but perhaps the next one. Suliman, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can
Thank you, Suliman.
Yeah,
Peace.
you can hang out if you like, but we're going to move on to the next poet. Thank you.
All right.
Raz Heru. Raz, are you here, my brother?
What's up, Amira?
Hey, president and founder of Rebel Ink Publishing is in the house.
Thanks for having me. This has been dope. Peace, and, you know, shouts out to all the poets that have shared so far. You all have been dope. You know, I'm more of a fan than anything, and so to finally be able to be in a show again and actually just be in the space of poetry is real dope. So I'm thankful to you and for James. James, what's up, for making this happen?
When we're done, I want you to hook up with Andrew, because he's talking about his book, you know?
That's what's up.
So we can give him some help with that.
Cool.
Okay, so what you gonna spit for us? You ready?
So I have a poem. I think a few of us kind of know already. Remember, you kind of already know. I'm about 4 or 5 poems short of completing my next manuscript, which I'm rather excited about. And so when you asked me to share a poem, it was difficult for me to find one from this collection. But I think I found it, and, you know, we're going, you know, just take it out for a test spin.
Let's do it.
All right. It's entitled, Have You Ever Seen the Rain? I am the unconquered. When provoked or otherwise bothered, I invoke the spirits that make men immortal and cowards kings. So in the face of tyranny, I sing songs of strength. Tell me, please, have you ever seen the rain? A wrecking ball's kiss to any obstacle out to stop me. I consider a gauntlet thrown to be an act of romance, and I'll dance with whomever. I ask you again, have you ever seen the rain? I know every single genre of seduction. Plus, I know why warfare is sexy. I'm here for the feast and not selfish in the least. No surrender, no retreats. The legions would love a leader like me. Decreed in more than just the art of war, I can assure you a new era. A policy that provides a dominion over the darkness that resides both inside and out. An empire that never sees the sunset, a living example of the phrase, if I ain't dead, then I ain't done yet. A soldier's silhouette and a polymath's mind, a kind man and a jealous God. I gave New York insomnia way back. Reduced Pompeii to ash the last time the city made me angry. Almost lost the pyramids in the dice game. I ask you again, have you ever known a reign like mine? Call me imperator. Set the stage so that my triumph is grand. May the people stand and band in the streets for the feats accomplished in their name. No, I do not claim to be a king, as I am something far more complex. Do not aim to be a god, as I am something far more original. My status seminal, my principle is pivotal. My pivotal achievement will be that human history never forgets what I did here. So cheer me as I cheer for you. Let every corner of the globe hear us laugh, dance hard enough to scare away anyone with weak hips. Let them know that we live life fiercely, that we greet doubt with indignation, that fate is but a loud mouth taking advantage of the fact that we both forgot who's really in charge here. Paint my face red, color my robe purple. Look to the future through whatever kaleidoscope you choose, but don't doubt that the light we show the world today will change it tomorrow. I'm no rainbow myself. Reach the pot of gold at the end of me, and you'll be just as likely to find a stick of dynamite. The real question is just how high do you really want to be? Whatever your options, I got the gas for your trip. A resume that stretches from here to the moon, the might to make wrong right and right righter. This is the part of the poem that summons your lighters to a position above your shoulders. This is the part of the poem where you decide to hold the spark in you high enough that the sun has no choice but to file a grievance. I guarantee you'll never know a rain like mine, and I'll finally dine in hell or be halfway to Hades before I sell myself short, only resorting to wrath for tactical reason. And come this season, you will know why my reign is inevitable.
Whoa. Hey. Whoa. What was the mission behind that? The inspiration behind that piece?
So in a nutshell, I'm working on a collection of poetry right now in which I'm sort of telling two stories simultaneously. I'm like simultaneously telling mine, but I'm also kind of giving like an autobiographical look at Julius Caesar and ancient Rome. And so what I'm doing is I'm kind of like fusing the two as if I were to be telling my story in this time in 2020 America, and also telling the story of Julius Caesar in 40 BC, like simultaneously. And so, with that poem, I'm attempting to grasp that, but also, tell the full side of both individuals. So it's part indictment, it's part triumph, it's part, self grief, it's part, celebratory. It's all these, sort of things that the collection is aiming to be, and I think that poem kind of captures that. So that was behind why I chose that one and kind of what it's about. And it's called "Have You Ever Seen the Rain," which is about 6 months ago when I started to work on this poem. I came across the song "Have You Ever Seen the Rain" by Creedence Clearwater Revival. I'm sure we all know the song, whether we haven't realized we know it. But I was listening to it, and it became like a part of my rotation while I was beginning to write this idea out. And so I was like, I'm gonna take the title and I'm gonna throw it into the poem and kind of change the title a bit, as far as like playing with the word rain and that sort of thing.
Well, that's cool. I think that type of book is what high schoolers or college level would definitely have as a English study.
I appreciate that. It's definitely taken on a bit of a life of its own from what I originally thought it was going to be. But my favorite poet said that manuscripts are like living things, right? And so it's growing. It's definitely at this point a bit more than just a collection of poems, which is dope. And so I hope it finds a whole different array of uses.
Yeah, listen, tell us a little bit about Rebel Inc.
Sure. So Rebel Inc. I've been running in collaboration with my partner, Mr. Elliot Fett, who there he is right there. He just popped up. John Shaft of the Poetry Game. I like to call him in the NYC hat and the New York hat. We've been running for about 2 years. We are about 6 published books in, with the last one being none other than Breathing Through Concrete, snaps and claps for you, Amira. We've been doing it for 2 years now, about 2 years, and it's been, a great ride.
Yeah. I was very happy to work with you on that publishing. I think it was a huge success. It's been running real live on the social media scene. Lots of people picked it up. Roz, thank you as always for being. Okay, go ahead, James.
Let me chime in. He's gonna hate me for doing this. But Roz Heru also appears on Pulsar, and I'm be honest with you, he almost made me change my
You wouldn't let me
version.
get away. You wouldn't let me get away.
No. When you hear the album, when you hear that track, No Haikus featuring Uninvited,
It's cool.
I Am Omega and Roz Heru, you'll see what I'm saying. So
in
just
in
check
in
that out.
fairness, in fairness, and I appreciate that, James. I appreciate you so much. In fairness, you know, if we got to tell a story, I have to tell the other side too.
All right, go ahead.
Shout out to the rest of our, homies and brothers on that track. You know, Mega, yourself, uninvited. I had to come back to the studio a second time because what you guys had, up serving on the plate was just too raw and too real. And I wanted to write it there, and I knew it wasn't going to work. And so, the moment I left, I see you laughing, guys. The moment I left, I got home that night. It was like 12:30 in the morning, and I wrote half the verse just right there. And so, it was a fun time. I can't wait for us to perform it again or do part 2.
Definitely. Yeah, it was a pleasure working with you, man. You definitely added that magic to it. So thank you for that, man. I appreciate it too.
Ross, I'll be speaking with you. Thanks again, please. Next on the mic, we have Lady Benita. While she comes on, I just want to say that I met Lady Benita at another poetry venue. She and I were female artists on that show. She performs her own style of poetry. Lady Benita, would you like to introduce yourself and give us some information about you as a poet?
Oh, yes. I'm Lady Benita. I've been writing poetry since I was 11. And of course, through the trials of life, it becomes with more of a meaning and passion behind it. I write a lot about love and different experiences that I have throughout my adult life. I'm a mother of 2. I'm also in the education field. I'm actually trying to do a career change right now. So I'm looking into social work. I'm a behavior therapist, so I work with autistic children, and I teach applied behavior analysis, and I do a lot of different things. I love writing. I love photography. I love art. I love to dance. What else? I'm just happy to be here. I have some new pieces that actually I haven't even, I did one in front of my family, and this was about what's going on in this time right now. Very revolutionary. So this is something new for me. It's called Dear Black People. Dear Black people, see, it all began in August of 1619, where kings and queens were parted from their land called Mother. A place that was birthed warriors and scribes, surgeons, mathematicians, teachers, fathers and mothers, and aunts and uncles. Some were hoodwinked and bamboozled, while others were snatched and captured, taken by force. A land with so much resource, loaded onto ships without barely food and water, and thrown overboard if started a revolt, tossed into the sea if were sick, laying in urine and feces, packed like sardines, wailing and weeping in their native tongue, and praying to Oladamar as why he has forsaken us, asking for Yemiya to protect us on this voyage, for she was the one who controlled the seas. How could this be? Sailing weeks and months only to reach a land where for the next 401 years to this day in 2020, there will be a struggle for freedom. Treated like inhumane beings, killed, raped and whipped, lynched, beaten and castrated, humiliated and traumatized, families separated, buck breeding the strongest of Black men, only to instill fear to anyone who will fight back. Forced to be a bed wench to the massa, and singing spirituals and hymns in the cotton fields. Given a Bible from a religion we never knew, we were forced to denounce our own spirituality. We gave up our own true identity. We was given a pen to rewrite our history. And with the eraser, we was to eliminate and wipe away our heritage and culture. The very thing that made us unique in our very own Blackness. From our coily hair that can hold any style, to the herbs we use for healing diseases, to the spices for cooking, the style of garments we wore with pride, the djembe drums, and how we move gracefully to the beats, calling on our ancestors for guidance. Oh, how our skin glistened with the sun. And since we're talking about color, we have many shades from brown to light to dark to the darkest of almost white. For we are beautiful. We are a unique race. We have so much to face. We shall stand strong because this has gone on far too long. Let us rise in power, for this is the hour. Facing the rising sun, our whole new day begun. Let us march on to victory is won. Thank you.
Wow, amazing, amazing. My hat goes off to you. That piece was awesome. Lady Benita, like I've seen you offer like 3 or 4 different styles of poetry since we've met. That's amazing because usually poets drop into one category or another, but you've done the romance, now you've done the activism, the Black Power, and I forget the other one that I heard you speak before or spit before.
Oh, that was the trauma
yeah
trauma of healing.
Exactly. You're amazing.
Oh no, that was Unbroken Vows. Yeah,
you are amazing.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you again. Every time I invite you, you graciously say yes. And it's because I think that we vibe, and I enjoyed that connection that we have through the venue or through the poetry circuit. Thank you. James, you have anything you want to talk to Lady Benita about?
She took us on a history lesson in that piece. And yeah, that when I think about it in a mirror, she's in the educational field, she can attest to this. That part is missing out in today's educational system, is our story. And the fact that you're continuing the tradition that goes way before my time, Amira's time, all of our times here. That's beautiful, and keep that up, because those are the stories that need to be told and continue to be told. So I commend you for that, and that was beautiful.
Thank you again for giving us your voice on When the People Speak. Thank you. Calling next up to the mic, we have Raymond. And while Raymond comes forth, let me see if I can see him still in our wings over here. James and I would like to kind of find out if you guys kind of like this type of forum where he and I are co-hosts and we call upon various poets from our circuit to come and share their work. How many of you think that this is a good forum and like to see more of it? Yeah. Okay, so I'm enjoying it. So Raymond, I think, is on mic. Raymond, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's up, Raymond?
Hey, how's everybody doing? I had a good time with y'all tonight. I have several shows, radio shows that I produce on FM 106.5 WPPM in Philadelphia, can be heard worldwide, and also 91.7 WLFR, which also can be heard worldwide. And I also do podcasts, and I produce various programs and events. I have a digital magazine coming out called the Arts and Music Think Tank, and we're looking for poetry for, on various themes for that as well. And the piece I'm going to do, I don't know why I'm being inspired to do this piece, but it's called Last Summer. And maybe I'm supposed to tell you that as part of the Arts and Music Think Tank, we have a section in that show where we do some voice acting. So maybe that's why I was supposed to do this piece. So this piece is called Last Summer, and it goes like this. Last summer, my mother came home after she'd been missing for 2 weeks. She wasn't right, My mother, she was on that stuff cocaine, heroin, dust, I don't know, that stuff. Any stuff that leaves the veins of your arms swollen and scabbed like some pusher been sucking you dry. The kind of stuff that makes you leave your family for 2 weeks stuff. My mother ain't right, you know. She's on whatever stuff that brought her back home at 2:23 in the morning, smelling like she'd been eating sour milk sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and between meals. Before I could say I love you, Mom, she started talking about I'm sick, baby. And she started talking about how this time it was going to take $40 to make her better. Last time it only took $5 to make her better. Last spring, my Xbox, my ATM card, and my grandmother's earrings was going to make my mother better that time. By last summer, I replaced 3 cell phones. So I know my mother ain't right, you know, but she never got better. Me and her never got better. Our family never got better. You know, but it was 2:23 in the morning. I just asked her to sit down just for a little while I washed my hands and see what was in the refrigerator that I could make her to eat. You know, she was my special lady one time. While fixing her something to eat, I heard my mother bang into the living room wall. To make a long story short, I stood in the door with a baseball bat to keep my mother from smoking the TV or from doing whatever she did with my Xbox, the ATM card, the gold earrings, the 3 cell phones, and my last $32 at 2:23 in the morning. Saved the damn TV set, but I failed to save my mother. Last summer, I changed the locks, and that was the last time I saw my mother. She ain't right, you know. She ain't right, you know. And that was the last time I saw my mother. The last time I saw the beautiful woman who raised me. Well, it's been an even longer time since. Scene.
Wow.
Ooh.
Dang,
Ooh. Ooh. That's why I invited him.
emotion, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's a pile of emotions. That sounds like poem I do, the other side, the male version of She Be Clapping. Where, you know, the mother is all drugged out and the child is just like left on her own. Raymond, that was deep, man. Where'd the inspiration for that piece come from?
Well, I've been poeting a long time. And so I've gone beyond just telling my story, which is it's hard enough to tell your story. So let me quantify that. Because whenever you tell your story, you're putting yourself out there naked, which is hard. But I've also been doing it long enough to where I feel the responsibility to tell other people's stories. I remember when I first started doing poetry, my boys were like, Ray, you and this poetry, I want to, y'all saw you talking about you and this poetry and stuff. So I tricked them into getting into it by showing them a videotape. And this was back in the day before, when video was like new, right? New technology. So I showed them some video from a poetry reading. He said, and my boys were like, well, Dad, Ray, that's, you talking about stuff that's actually happening. You're not just, up there talking about flowers and Shakespeare and the moon. And I have poems about flowers and Shakespeare and the moon. But that poem is just, it's a lot of people's reality in some part where I come from. And to be honest, the America we live in, we all know somebody who, when they come to the house, your mother say, get my pocketbook, make sure you don't leave no money out when, Teresa's, in the house. So, I mean, And, you know, and my family got people like that in the family too. So.
Yeah. So like I can definitely relate because I do a lot of pieces like that. And when I'm done, I look out into the audience and I see tears in eyes. People often run up from their seats and hug you, and they want to know, like, where'd you get that from? That's my life you're talking about. So I can definitely relate. And while I'm on the subject, I hope to see you again real soon, not only in your platform, but back into whatever James and I create from this venue here. We appreciate it.
Just let me know, because whenever I call on James, you know, he's good about coming through. So, you know, I'm worn out and tired, but I'm here.
Well, thank you. That was a heavy piece. James, you want to add anything?
What I like about that piece, he displays rhythm, a very, you know, powerful tool in poetry, rhythm. And I love that. I love that about your work. You know, a lot of poets need to get back to that, you know, finding the rhythm in their poem, you know, and you definitely captured that all the way.
You know what they need to do? They need to study the classics.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The classics. James Weldon Johnson, Paul Dunbar. James Weldon Johnson's God's Trombones. You read through like The Creation, Sister Caroline's Not Dead. These are things that these are poems that I teach young kids when I teach day camp. I don't think I'm going to be doing day camp this year unless I'm doing it virtually. But you know that that teaches them to read in rhythm and to recite in rhythm and to write in rhythm. So, you know.
Definitely, you did it, brother.
Thank you.
So Raymond, we'll hook up, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'm gonna pick something real special for that evening. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.